On July 19th, 2014, Wilmington resident Stephanie Wells made a decision that changed her life and the lives of others forever.
Started off as a really typical day and a typical night. Had gotten invited to go downtown with a friend of mine. At some point during the night, decided to get into my car and go to a friend's house who lived across town. I'd only been to that friend's house once or twice before, so I typed in their address into my GPS and I got in the car. As I'm driving down Market Street, my GPS goes off and it tells me to continue straight for 6.2 miles. And at that point, I glanced down at it just to kind of check why it was telling me that. And in front of me, there was a car that had moved over into the left-hand lane that I didn't see. And the first thing that I hear is something hit my passenger side windshield.
Market Street is a familiar road in the Wilmington community which extends from downtown Wilmington all the way to Porter's Neck. It is one of Wilmington's top 3 locations for car accidents to occur due to heavy traffic and narrow roads.
Officers came in and a detective and an officer were there and they told me that I had hit somebody. And at that point, my first reaction to that was to ask if that person was okay. I began to think about somebody else at that point. And those officers looked me in the eye and told me that the man who I had hit was found dead on arrival when first responders got there.
Michael Rankin, a 40-year-old from Durham, North Carolina, was a passionate chef and a Navy veteran. He is survived by his wife Katrina and his sisters Aline, Karen, and Wendy. She is not the only person in the world who has ever driven drunk. I know that happens. The thing that hurts me the worst is that she kept going. She hit him, she let him die on the sidewalk by himself.
I still believe that I was going to blow under the legal limit, and that was not true. What I blew was .17. But the main thing that I can remember is just wondering how this had happened.
Victims of those who drive under the influence have no restrictions. We spoke with Wilmington resident Marley Merritt, who lost her friend in a drunk driving accident leaving Wilmington in February of 2017.
On February 6, 2017, my best friend and her boyfriend were killed by a drunk driver driving back to Charlotte from a Super Bowl party here in Wilmington, North Carolina. They had their puppy in the back, and the drunk driver was riding on the opposite side of the highway and crashed into them. They both died. He survived. He's in the ICU for almost a year, and he's just now facing charges for his mistakes.
On February 5th, 2017, Super Bowl Sunday, 18-year-olds Dana Wilson and Ryan Minke were tragically struck by a drunk driver who collided with them driving on the wrong side of the highway. 38-year-old Broderick Jones nearly hit one car before crashing head-on into Ryan's 2005 Ford Focus. Officials estimated that the combined speed at impact was approximately 150 miles per hour. The teens were killed instantly, however, Jones survived. During our interview with police officer Eric Lippert, he recalled that specific accident and spoke further on the ongoing issue with DUIs in the Wilmington area.
Sexes, races, everything. There's no category to put people in. Yeah, most people think the younger 20s, college students and whatnot, but it's not always that case. Sometimes you'll deal with the middle-aged alcoholics that are out there driving. November 1st of 2016 was the traffic crash at Oleander and Independence. Don't remember exactly what time. It happened during the daytime. But a subject impaired on heroin crashed into the back of a car. He hit the back of the car so hard that he killed a 2-year-old in the back seat. And the woman was pregnant at the time. The mom was pregnant, and there was also a 4-year-old in the car that survived. But that was a tragic event that affected a lot of people. The first responders that were on scene, dealing with a deceased toddler, and then this subject took it all the way to trial, denied responsibility all the way through until his sentencing for second-degree murder, when he finally took responsibility for being a heroin addict. It took being convicted to take responsibility for his actions. So,
before you get behind the wheel of a car after drinking, think about how that decision could affect you and everyone around you.
Really be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself on what the consequences are, not just to you, but to other people. Because in my experience, I don't think that anybody goes out to maliciously hurt somebody else, but the decisions that we make do have consequences, and making the decision to drink and drive or to be distracted at all and drive are going to have consequences eventually.
You have enough money to go out and drink, you have enough money to get an Uber and to get yourself home and people around you home safely.
We all have somebody that loves us and they want to make sure that we get home safely, and at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk, it's not worth the tragedy, and especially this time of year when everybody wants to be around their family for Christmas, they don't want to sit at the table and see that empty chair from that family member that's no longer with them. So don't do it, it's not worth it.